Hi, Katie here. It's New Year's Eve 2019. We are about to embark on a new year, a new decade, and I'm here to tell you what I think you need to do to make it amazing. But before I do that, if you clicked on this and you're watching, there's a reason. Either you really need this message or perhaps someone you know does. So keep that in mind. So, the number one thing I think you need to do today or this week, just as soon as possible, is to spend some time alone thinking about what you want your life to look like 10 years from now, a decade. I want you to think about where you want to live, what job you want if it's different than the one you have, what your family is going to look like, what your house is going to look like, all of it, and write it down. I end up doing bullet points. Some people do better writing out a whole story and painting a picture of what it looks like, but the most important thing is to think about it and visualize it, not just a couple minutes while you're watching this video, but to spend a few hours doing this and really going inside yourself and thinking, what do I want in 10 years? What life do I want? Because it can be completely different than the one you have today if you desire. I think it was Tony Robbins that said most people overestimate what they can get done in a year and underestimate what they can get done in a decade. And when I look back a decade ago, when I was 25, my life was so different. I had financial struggles and I was lost and didn't know what I was doing. And over the decade, I paid off student loans. I bought my first house by myself. I found a career that I absolutely love that I'm now in my 7th year in. I had my daughter, which just opened up a whole new world of discovering my purpose and what makes me happy. And it's just been an incredible decade, which gets me so excited for what I can do in the next 10 years. I think so many of us think too microscopically about our lives, and we set these really small goals that we think are, gonna make us happy, like lose 5 pounds and buy a new car or something. But on our deathbed, we're not gonna be like, I'm so thankful that I lost 5 pounds in 2020. We need something bigger and more meaningful. So when you get that vision, whether you want to do 10 years or 20 years or 30, as big as you want, you need to chunk it down. So if you do 10 years, then you set your 5-year goals or metrics, and 3-year and 1 year, which helps you define your quarterly tasks and your monthly tasks, your weekly, all the way down to your daily actions. So one of my big goals is to be healthy and around for as much of my daughter's life as possible. That's the big goal. So over the decade, I want to run or do a triathlon, run a couple more marathons. This year I want to do a half marathon at a certain time. So that takes it down to a 12-week plan, which makes it so much easier for me to take that daily action of running or stretching or whatever I need to do, because it's tied to a much bigger, more important goal to me. So I really hope you take the time to think about this life you want. It can be anything you want. It could be so different than where you're at now. And then a couple thoughts on happiness as you're thinking about your 10-year plan. There's research that shows that we are happiest when we're doing one of two things. So the first is when we are helping other people. And that could be small, like taking in your neighbor's trash can or volunteering at your child's school, maybe helping someone at work finish a project, mentoring someone, on and on. I think that's why I love my job so much, is not only, I help people, get their houses or sell their houses, but I help in other ways. They might need something done at the house, like, some plumbing or electric. And so I refer them to those trades. And in turn, I'm helping those people grow their business. And it's just this great cycle of helping. It's awesome. So helping people is one way. And then the second way is when we are learning something new or growing or achieving. I think a lot of people think they'll be happy when they have the dream house or have so much money they don't need to work. But we all hear the stories of wealthy people who aren't happy. They have all the earthly possessions like maybe we think we want, and they're still not happy. The research shows that we're happy when we are working towards a goal and achieving. Um, I think that's what life is all about. There's no finish line or end game. You achieve goals and then you set new goals and you keep achieving those. And that's what keeps life fun and exciting. I mean, even if you're retired, you should have goals. Maybe you want to learn a new language or live in another country for a few months. Unless your my mom, you can't do that. You got to stay here. Or start a nonprofit. That's one of mine I hope to do in a decade or so. Um, Anything. You can do anything that you can think of. I know it's cheesy, but it's true. So that is my hope, is that all of you spend a little time thinking about what you want your life to look like in 2030, so that in 2029 you're not setting the same similar goals that you set this year, that you're setting some bigger, more meaningful ones that will really move your life in the direction that you want to go. So thank you. Happy New Year's to everyone. I wish you all tons of health and happiness and love with your family, because that's what it is all about. Thank you. Bye-bye.